What's going on YouTube? TeamSC back online here with another 3v3 gamecast for you this evening. Now this game is going to be cast on none other than the map called the Slaying Fields. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. I'm TeamSC spawning here as the Purple Terran. My allies are none other than Icy, the Zerg player I friended on ladder. He's been playing pretty good lately. Hopefully he hasn't let me down this game. And our third, none other than Spec, the random player spawning today as Protoss. Today we are up against none other than Semiparo, the Teal Terran, playing with his two allies, the Red Zerg over here, named Rasputin, and then their final one over here, the Protoss named Mike Nunez. Very original name here. So anyways, this map called the Slaying Fields kind of has a weird setup. One person has the back base with an easy access to a gold base, but the thing is he's pretty hard to attack because as his base goes down, there's a third base out here, an expansion out here, which normally their ally will take, followed by a gold base with some destructible rocks. Down towards the south side, it's just airspace, so no way to really get into the base by ground unless you do any drops. There are some rocks here that can be destroyed to open up an attack path either to these bases or opening over here to expand further south, where there's 1, 2, 3 more bases down at the bottom, and then eventually we're back on the other side with our opponent's base over here. Little shenanigans in the chat, Spec trying to get mass minerals, mass gas, and go for mass photon overcharge. Of course he's playing around. But anyways, we do have also more bases here on the top side, kind of going up, another 3 down here, and then back to the destructible rocks on the opposite gold base. Now there is one major attack route by ground here through the center of the map, and this is where most armies are going to usually attack while going to the other side, but there are a couple alternate paths if you destroy those destructible rocks. But anyways, going to be opening up this game, getting a reactor on the barracks, going to be going for some early game marines for defense and getting a quick command center. Going to be attempting to destroy these destructible rocks and use the extra mineral income to kind of get a third base going quicker and get a bunch of just mineral heavy units out, you know, supply depots and all that other things that we're going to need. Icy over here taking this gold base, going to be trying to go for some early game ling harass, going to be transferring all his drones down to capitalize on mining this gold base here. This is worth it. I mean, you do lose a little bit of mining time by walking over here, but the amount of minerals you get from gold expansions is going to make up for that quite easily. But he put a little bit too many drones. He only needs 12 to fully saturate this. Has 16 there, but not the biggest of deals. Anyways, Spec going to be taking an expansion of his own, going to be trying to wall down that low ground ramp, and just going to be teching up. Got a cybercore on the way, a second gateway. Going to be playing it safe, probably get a couple units early on. Blue Protoss on the other hand does have a forge, going to be throwing down some photon cannons at the front, and taking an expansion for himself. A lot of gas on the way. Already has 2, going to be getting 4 gas as well, so he's probably going to tech up to, let's see that tech, Mike Nunez. Oh, a fast plasma shield upgrade. What's he going to use that for? Alright, we'll see what he techs up to here in a minute. Anyways, Rasputin over here has a second base on the way. Just going to be focusing on droning up. Little scout for Spec does manage to see this gold base, and these marines are going to snipe out this scout. Now, we do have a bunch of barracks here, and we did actually scout this with Spec's probe. We kind of missed that little actions part at the start. But his probe did sneak into the base and see the barracks and see a bunch of marines. So we do know Teal is planning to rush. He's going to be sending his marines across the map. Now, he is investing heavily in this. He's not going to have any expansions up. He's going heavy to do some damage and get something done with this early game rush. A lot of marines coming down the map, and he's pretty much going to be alone for the most part. Zurich did go for the gold base, but there are no units here on the map. Speed is finished, however, but no lings have begun to be produced at this moment. Going to be moving out across the map. Semiparo going to be going straight for the Protoss base here. Mr. Spec has 2 gateways, but actually no units. He needs to get some adepts out, but he's has a bad habit of waiting for warp gate before building any units. But anyways, these marines are going to be going up to the front of the base. There is a couple photon overcharges here for the mothership. Actually, only one available. 11 seconds till the next one. Marines going to be focusing down that pylon and actually get rid of it almost instantly. And the Marines is streamlining in 4x4. And already we do have Spec up against the fence. Going to have to bring his probes back to the home base. Gateway does finish building, but that pylon gets sniped out by these Marines. Another photon overcharge going to be ready here in a little bit, but we do have the lings on the production tab now. It's going to be streamlining in further and further. Need to kind of help our ally out right now. So Marines going to be pushing in. 1 photon overcharge here, defending the base, getting a couple picks on some Marines, but the Marines going to be moving up and just going straight for the pylon, going to be sniping it out. And he did start building units. 1 Zealot on the way, but it's not going to be here in time. Only 1 pylon left powering all 3 of these things. Did start the charge out upgrade, but he's not going to have any use for that. Probe's going to coming off the line. Going to be trying to clean up these Marines. Mothership core getting very weak here. Even 1 Zealot does come out just in time. That Mothership core is going to, just dies. Only a couple Marines here left. Those probes must have been misclicked because they stopped attacking the Marines. Does lose the Mothership. Big hit here. Do bring my mech, got a couple Marines, a couple Cyclones finally get here to help Spec's base out. Going to be going back, but they are going to be counterattacking. Do have a bunker here, but the Marines are on the wrong side of the map, and these Lynx going to be going in, doing some damage. Just have an Overlord here to see all of this that's going on. So did get this gold base up, but haven't been able to profit from it just yet. Going to be putting some SCVs in the bunker to take refuge. This SCV unfortunately is not going to make it. Going to go ahead and wall everything out. But some Lings here for Icy going to be coming in and help clean this up, and some Cyclones coming back as well. A couple Lings here, kind of can't see them. Need to go clean those up before we start mining again. Ling's going to be going out on the map, trying to see if they can get anything done. Does look like Terran has called off the rush and is going to go for an expansion. There are a handful of Marines here, a handful of Zerglings. We'll see who comes out on top. And these Speedlings do destroy those Marines. Going to be able to, no doubt, cancel this expansion or at least stall it for some time. Need to go for that SV. SV is going to go down. This expansion is going to be halted for a moment, and he does cancel the expansion. So Teal is pretty behind. Didn't get too much damage done on the rush. He did do a lot of, I guess, annoyance to Spec, but didn't really get the probe kills or the, expansion either, because he still has the expansion. He did lose some probes and the mothership, but other than being annoyance, not too much damage got done. More Lings coming in, but some Lings from the red Zerg here. Gonna be enough to make us go home. Gonna be moving down the map, telling my ally I'm coming with them. Got some Hellions on the way, along with a couple Cyclones, just kind of forced into this transition of the mobile mech style here with the Hellion Cyclone, since they were rushing us. One tank here, not going to risk engaging that. Tanks are pretty strong this day and age. Going to be trying to go up here and see what we can get done. Protoss has been quiet this whole time. Has a second core on the way, and he is going for the infamous Sky Toss. I knew you were taking up to something, guy. So going to be going in, poking at the front. There are a couple Void Rays here. I'm going to try and get a pick off one. Going to be doing a lot of lock-ons, focusing on just one Void Ray, hopefully to get a pick. But unfortunately, we do mistime that a little bit, and the scan goes out, so we lose vision, don't actually get the pick on that. Just going to be going home. Now that I've seen these Void Rays, I need to tech up. Right now I've been on pretty much ground mech, and this is not going to do well against Void Rays. I'm kind of afraid if he uses Void Rays across the map right now, he is going to completely destroy my base, so I'm going to have to get a few turrets up and get an armory out, which I'd already do, and get a couple of Thors and Widow Mines to stall for the meantime. Thors are a decent counter to Sky Toss in the early game when the numbers are low, but once Sky Toss gets like a huge death ball, almost max army, Thors are no longer a good counter. You kind of have to tech up and get some things from the starport like Ravens or Battlecruisers instead, because the Thors are just not going to cut it. But anyways, I am throwing up one missile turret here, going to be lifting off my barracks and putting it on the high ground to have some vision in case the Void Rays move across the map. So I'm not too worried because I think he's on 2 base, but I actually don't have vision of this secret 3rd base. If you go to, our player camera, actually a little bit of action here, Link's kind of poking across the map, seeing if they can get anything done. And looks like Teal is actually trying to push our base, but he's going to get sandwiched by this mech army and all of these Zerglings. This managed to siege up, but not in time, and really bad engagement for Teal. Not only did his rush fail, but he second push didn't do any damage as well. So Teal actually kind of putting his teammates in a bad spot as he's been throwing resources at us, and it's going to allow these Lings to kind of go in and do some damage uncontested, but Red is actually pushing across the map, going to be helping him, and a lot of Banelings here need to be very careful. These Banelings are just going to clean up all of these Lings, and we do have what we fear, the freaking Void Rays are here across the map, pushed out, got a couple worker kills, got a few Cyclones here to lock on and kind of kite the Void Rays for a little bit, but we're really not going to do a lot of damage. The Cyclone damage is pretty negligent, only 160 over like a billion seconds, so not going to be enough to deal with these Void Rays, but we do have our first Thor out on the map. Going to be getting a couple of Widow Mines too to try to help defend this base, because if these Void Rays move in, especially with this 3rd hidden expansion, it could be in a lot of trouble for us. But anyways, we do have some Hellbat Cyclones here. Going to be trying to get our bases back up. A little bit of harass got us on the fence. Need to move these SCVs back to work. And Red just massing up huge supply of Banelings and Zerglings here. Meanwhile, Protoss Spec has teched up to try to go for Charge Lot Archon. It has 2 Archons on the way and a handful of Charge Lots, but Banelings are going to pretty much eat through this, as there's not enough Archons to deal with all of these Zerglings just yet. They're very good against Zerglings, but this is just too much right now. Red going to be going in and just destroying everything. Spec forced to cancel his 3rd base, and Teal even moving across the map with the Red Zerg. Going to be moving up to the main base. Enlarge this camera real quick. Throwing off 3 Photon Overcharges, but these Banelings should wreck these structures with ease once they get up through the map. All the pylons going down, all the Photon Overcharges going down, and a couple of Marines here, but we do have some Zerglings for Icy and some Roaches moving in as well to try to help defend our allies' base, but at the same time we do have these Void Rays moving across the map. Some big hits there with the Widow Mines, and using the Thors to focus fire, and do get a big hit on those Void Rays. Meanwhile, Spec still getting pushed, moving the Hellions and Cyclones back to this side of the map to kind of help defend our ally. Nexus almost goes down, but he does manage to cling on for his life, and that was a big hit, and I'm telling my teammates all caps, Killed Void Ray Ball. Now is a good time to push, because that was very fortunate on our side. I did lose my barracks I had here for vision, but it was very good. Very, very good pick. Anyways, going to be destroying these rocks to try to just take the safer route to go attack the Protoss base, because at this time I have seen that he does actually have these 2 bases. I was trying to take him myself. Actually, let me go to my camera real quick. Yes, an Overlord has scouted these bases, and now I know we're in trouble. We killed the Void Ray Ball, but I thought he was just on 2 bases this whole time. He actually ninja'd 2 more expansions, so he has 4 bases. So if we don't do anything now, this Protoss is going to go uncontested and just completely destroy us in the late game. Going moving across the map. Do have a decent amount of Thors here and a couple of Widow Mines here to support. Should be able to deal with any Void Rays he has right now since we killed the chunk of his army. Going to be moving in, trying to play it a little safe, trying to keep the tanks, Hellbats onto the right side, and kind of keep the Thors and Mines here to help zone out anything that might come. But there are a lot of Stargates here. 5 Stargates, 6 Stargates, and a Robo Bay going down. Forced to transition because he saw the Widow Mines, or else he won't be able to have anything to deal with it. Do get a snipe on this base. Huge pick, especially since he's going for Sky Toss, and going to be trying to go up and take out that expansion as well. Now the Void Rays are moving across the map. A couple roaches here for Icy. Not going to do much, just getting picked off by these Void Rays. Going to be moving the Thors back to try to just zone out these Void Rays, and Thors with a little bit of mine support is going to be enough to hold off this number of Void Rays just for a little while. But Mike Nita is doing a good job trying to space out his Void Rays just a little bit, but just going to be moving Hellbats and Cyclones and tanks up the map, and just keeping the Thors and the Mines down here on the low ground. But at the bottom of the map, we do have a huge push. These Broodlords and eating through Spec's base. I didn't even see this happening. Red teched up, has Corruptor Brood. Spec taking a lot of damage to his main base. I think he got his workers out of there. Yes, he did. So he has oversaturated natural, but these Broodlords are uncontested. There's nothing here to actually counter this. And our mech army's way out of position. Did go to here. Did get some good picks on the blue Protoss base, but Spec getting a little bit beat himself. Roach is going to be engaging this teal push on the middle of the map, and Mr. Semi-Pro here is going to be losing a lot. He keeps kind of throwing his army away, but these Void Rays have joined up with all of these Lings, and they are going to be pushing. Now this is a scary army. We do have a couple of Thors here, but not enough mines or anything to help zone it out. Half our army is actually out of position over here, standing, doing nothing. These Void Rays are going to be moving in. We do have a couple Widow Mines here. We do have a barracks there on the high ground. Going to be losing that barracks again, which is unfortunate, which means we can't build any more factories if we need to until we get another barracks, unfortunately. And the meanwhile, Red Zerg is just destroying everything. Spec has a couple Corruptors here for Icy. Going to be coming to deal with this, and he does have the lead on Corruptors, so we should be able to clean this up. A big push here coming down. Void Ray is going to be moving in, going to be using Thor, trying to make sure we focus fire on the Void Rays, but need to keep those Thors alive. Those are the only things keeping us in this game. Bringing all the Widow Mines back here. We do have the not tunneling claws, the mine research to make them burrow a lot quicker. It's going to be enough to just secure these bases. These Void Rays are going to have to go home. We do have a big chunk of Thors here, and this should be enough to clean up the Void Rays with ease. But on the other side of the map, these Broodlords still doing damage. All the Corruptors did go down, and we do have the lead on the Corruptor count with Icy. Going to be cleaning up these last Broodlords, and Spec hanging on by a thread, has his natural expansion and his 3rd expansion, but not his main base anymore. Was forced to rebuild his Cyber Core and Twilight Council, really trying to commit to this Archon charge lot build he's got going on. But we are going to be moving a command center way up here to the high ground to try to take this base, but Mike Nunes does have a probe there, so he does have vision of this expansion. And he does have a big ball of Void Rays going to be moving across the map with the Widow Mine to deal with that. Don't have any vision of this right now. The probe is unfortunately a little small speck on the map, and we are going to lose this 4th base, which is going to hurt because to go for this kind of mech stall, we're going to need a lot of bases. Thor's moving across the map, and a bunch of Ultras here, kind of just moving just past the Thors. I don't remember seeing this in the May game, but this could have been bad for the Thor army. But we are just going to be moving in towards the Protoss base to try to get him out. I see his Void Rays are out of position over here. Going to be destroying my base. I figure we gotta trade and try to get his base as well. These Thors do have +2 attack, so they will be able to do a lot of damage with the Ultralisks. 4-2, more Corruptors for Icy coming in, but not going to be enough to deal with the Ultralisks. Archons are okay against Ultras, but not enough Archons to even deal with this. These Ultras is getting on top of everything Spec owns, just going to be completely annihilating him. Meanwhile, we are moving the Thors into the main base of blue, and his Voiders are out of position. They are going to be moving into my main base, so we've got a little bit of a base trade situation here. Do have one Thor back at home, going to be using this to try to zone out, but some support here from Icy should help me deal with these Void Rays. Corruptor's going to be moving in, but Void Rays are very good against Corruptors, especially if they focus fire, guys. The damage to Armored is ridiculous. No matter what you say, Corruptors are never a good counter to Void Rays. Void Rays are the counter to Corruptors. Corruptors are good against carriers, but not Void Rays, and these freaking Ultralisk have just destroyed Spec. Spec getting a little rage now, asking how Zerg has so many units, but he does have 3 bases, and he's pretty much gone uncontested this entire game. Gonna be trying to keep this Thor at home. 4 Thors here moving in. Only have 1 Thor left to fight it. Got a couple Widow Mines here that need to burrow down. A couple Roaches coming in too, but Roaches aren't really going to do too much damage to these Thors. I'm going to be forcing him to zone out just a little bit. Thor's going to be going into the main base of the Protoss here. Do make quick work of those Void Rays and going to be go straight for the production to cut the head from the snake and stop the Skytoss shenanigans. But we do have Icy here. Couple of Corruptors going to be forced to retreat. A couple of Widow Mines here going to be holding off Semi-Pro unless he drops a scan, and he will destroy those Widow Mines with ease. But Red Zerg taking another base here close to Spec's base, has some Ultralisk here, and there's some probes here that could get destroyed if these Ultras use their nose and smell. But 1 probe here going to be going out and showing the Ultralisk this pylon, going to be having to try to hide his probes before they all die. Thor's going to be destroying the rest of this base, but Mike Nunez does manage to keep a little hit squad of 3 Void Rays, and he is going to be trying to get him out of there, and he is going to be retaking this base as I'm trying to land a command center there to take that base, and these Void Rays are going to have a field day. Thor's going to be moving in, trying to defend the home base, trying to get a couple Liberators here to help counter these Thors. Ground mode does a lot of damage to the Thors, and Thors don't do too much to Liberator, but there are 4 Thors here versus 1 Liberator, but we did do a good amount of damage to all these Thors in the red. These Corruptors need to get teched up. We need a couple Broodlords to kind of help support this. Even have another Liberator coming out. Hellbat's going to be going up to the front. Only 1 Thor left here harassing this base. And we do lose this base, which is huge. So action going on all sides of the map. Going to be moving my Thors in here to try to do a little bit of damage and move into the enemy team's base. But there are a lot of Lings, there are a lot of Ultralisks, but not only Rasputin has tech up to Broodlords, and Broodlords are going to pretty much chew right through this. We need some Hellbats to support the Thors, or else those Broodlords will just kill everything. Now you can deal with a good amount of Broodlords with the second fire of the Thors, but not when there's Ultralisk tanking at the front line. It's just going to make the Thors spaz out. All these Widow Mines do go down. Did do a little bit of damage to the base here. Terran going to be forced to rebuild it, but Zerg still playing strong, has all 3 of his bases. Teal Terran still in this, has 1 base, but no mining going on. And Blue has a secret base here and a couple of Void Rays. But meanwhile, Spec's pretty much down to nothing, going to be double expanding at the same time, but has nothing going for him at all. Red Zerg having this 4th base, going to be having to try to secure a 4th base of my own, because we have just been losing a lot of our SCVs without really realizing it. You know, a lot of action going on both sides of the map, and things just getting chipped away. No mining going on here, too much mining here, and resources are running very low, so we're going to have to secure some sort of income. Going to be trying to expand here, getting another base, putting one of the Liberators here to try to make sure no Ultras or anything come and kill this base, but this Liberator will stop all these Ultralisks. And there's a lot of Ultras and Broodlords moving across the map at this time. And we do have some Corruptors for our ally here. Going to be going, making quick work of these Void Rays, and probably using the Corruption ability just to roast this last base over here. Meanwhile, just trying to get back in the game. No income coming in for me. Doing pretty poorly. These Corruptors going to go up and get a free snipe on this Liberator. Meanwhile, these Ultralisks are going to be moving in further. Even Spec having a base way down here in enemy territory. Ultralisk going to be moving in to our main base. We do have Icy here, but Icy really has nothing except these Corruptors all game. He's got nothing to deal with these Ultralisks on the ground. Ultralisk going to be going in having to field a couple Queens here, but nothing to help deal with them. More Corruptors over there, more Corruptors coming back, but he doesn't have the Greater Spire yet, so he has no Broodlords on the ground. Ultralisk are just going straight to town. Does have Burrow though, can be saving a couple of these drones, but these Ultralisks just going in, getting to do whatever they please. Meanwhile, I've got my army all lost by the... Lost everything on that push, so I just started to remacker and rebuild my stuff. Have a couple Thors, couple mines here, but not enough to defend my ally. A lot of Corruptors here going to be going in. Rasputin did make a couple of Broodlords, so we do have the lead on the Corruptor count, so we should be able to clean up these Corruptors and the Broodlords, but these Ultralisks in the meantime are going to be destroying everything. Lair does go down. Spire going to go down. Infestation Pit is going to go down. Moving in these Thors from the back, going to be trying to help support my team. But these Broodlings aren't going to be doing some damage to this Widow. I'm trying to get him straight under the Broodlords to try to get the pick on him. Icy does finally finish his little Corruptor battle here, and actually spazzing out because I keep trying to focus fire the Broodlords, and makes the Widow Mines delay their shot. You keep clicking on something for them to shoot at. But we do have another base up here. We do have our ally Icy taking 2 bases up here at the north, but we've got no mining coming down the south, and our army count is actually pretty low. We're at 119. We've got the lead on the army this game. Red did lose a lot of stuff. I am transitioning to Banshees to deal with these Ultras. A couple Thors here and a couple mines set up. Going to be able to clean up the last of these Ultras, and we do have a little decent force here. So we've finally stabilized, but we've kind of lost everything. Expect down to nothing. Just getting back in this game, but some Corruptors are going to go here and pretty much do whatever they want to this base. They're just going to goo on the Nexus, no doubt. This base does get scattered out by Zerglings. It's going to go down. So we are up against the Fest. It's essentially a 1 versus 1 right now. I'm the only one who's actually got any kind of mining and production in play. Icy's got some mining, but he did lose all of his tech, so he's got to rebuild. He does have 3 more bases on the production tab trying to get back in it. Spec has 1 base here that's mining, and he is trying to rebuild as well, but he's just been up against the ropes this whole entire game. Going to be even taking the enemy gold, going to be taking this front base. But we do have another base up in mining, which is good news for us because we need that economy desperately. Meanwhile, Protoss back at home has nothing going on, trying to secure himself this front base. Teal has a little force of Thors, is going to be moving in, going to be trying to land and take the gold to get back in this game. Red, running out of resource as well, does have this base and this base mining, but other than that, not too much going on. A little bit of a standstill going on right now, but we are taking map control. We do have a lot of bases going on. Going to be working on zoning out the enemy. We do have a decent charm of army right now. Going to be moving across the map. Thors have +3 attack with +1 armor, and Banshees have +1 armor as well. So going to be getting free pick on a couple of Ultralisks trying to rally to the fight. Going to be burning these mines now, but a little bit of a blunder me moving these Banshees kind of back to the melee cover. These Widow Mines do some splash damage to my army as well. A couple of Void Rays here, but not enough to deal with these Thors and tanks here, some mines here as well. A couple of Thors moving in. I need to split these Banshees and get them out of there. Those Thors pretty much made those Banshees evaporate. Was not expecting these Thors to kill my Banshees that quickly. Gonna be moving these Thors up. Gonna be trying to deal with these Ultralisks, kind of get these Thors here. I do have the lead on count and the lead on upgrades at this moment. Even more tanks coming in. Trying to transition into more anti-ground based army because I know we've eliminated the Sky Toss. I'm not worried about the Voiders anymore. Going to be tapering off the Thors, trying to go for more of a tank Hellbat composition right now. Going to be moving up to the main base of the enemy. Even Icy here going to be spewing some goo on Mike Nunez's expansion. But Red Protoss here. Oh, Spec with the transition. Finally doing something in this game. He got the 2 hidden Stargates. Going to be doing some damage and harassing Rasputin's base. Where did all of his corruptors go? He must have lost them doing something. But anyways, going to be pushing in and going straight to Rasputin's expansion. His last mining one. Now these Void Rays are on the map. And just pushing up into the enemy team base. We do have blue pretty much dry now. We are taking out Rasputin, a couple corruptors here spawning, and he is trying to re-rally everything back to his main base. But at this point, he's up against the fence. It looks like we're about to achieve checkmate. A couple of Thors here being annoying, but actually he's going to survive. Does get 1 Spore Crawl up. Only 2 Void Rays, but 2 more Void Rays should be able to come out and help make quick work of this now. This has been a scrappy game. Icy has a couple corruptors here. We do have a bunch of tanks, and we decide to just go for it. Going to be pushing across the map. Going to be just going straight for Rasputin's main base, unsieging everything and getting ready to move in for the kill. Meanwhile, we do have Corruptors spewing goo on everything on the Teal Terror's base. Void Rays here are going to be taking out the last mining base for Red, and we are going to be pushing into the main. Does have a couple Corruptors here, a couple Broodlords trying to fan out this Mech army, but we do have a couple of Vikings. Thankfully, we transitioned, got a couple of these out to kind of help you support fire. Going to be eating up those Corruptors, and these Vikings should go take out the Broodlords without any trouble at all. Even these mines getting a couple shots, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the GG. Intense game, especially while playing it. A lot of action everywhere, real scrappy game. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment. And subscribe. Help support the Team Game community. I'll see you on the next one, guys.